National 5 historians, and welcome to the next presentation in your National 5 History Inquiry Skills Guide. Now again, just a reminder of the types of questions that you need to answer in your National 5 exam. You have the knowledge and understanding questions, which are made up of a describe, which is worth 4 marks, an explain, which is worth 6 marks, and a mini essay, which is worth 9 marks. You have the source handling questions, a source comparison, which is worth 4 marks, and evaluate the usefulness, which is worth 5 marks, and a how fully question, which is worth 6 marks. Today's presentation is going to focus on the one that's underlined in bold there, which is the describe question, which is worth 4 marks, and again with our Disney mascots we have Mickey Mouse today. Now, our aim for the describe question by the end of this lesson, Mickey is aiming for you to know how to answer a describe question, to have went over a number of examples as a class, and to have glued a template into our jotters. Now again, if you've not got a hard copy of this presentation, if you're just watching this via the YouTube channel, then you can just copy the template into your jotter. Okay, so let's start off with the key information that Mickey is introducing to you. So firstly, a describe question is worth 4 marks. Now the describe question can be in any part of your National 5 exam, and there will be 2 in total that you will be asked. Now this question simply asks you to describe what happened or the key features of a historical event. Now where can you get the 4 marks? Now the 4 marks, you can get 1 mark for each simple point that's made, so you can effectively make 4 straightforward simple points to get 4 marks. You can also get an additional mark for any developed point. So for example, if you put 2 developed points, that would get you 4 marks. If you decide to do 1 developed point and 2 simple points, that would be 4 marks. So there's a combination of different ways that you can do it. Usually the easiest and most straightforward way is just to do 4 straightforward simple points. Now, how do we answer this question? As I've just said there, 4 simple points in 4 sentences. So the easiest way to remember how to do this is just firstly, secondly, thirdly and fourthly. Now, you'll see a warning here. It's important in the describe question that you do not bullet point or just make a simple list. You will not get any marks for doing this. It needs to be 4 full sentences. Now, some examples here. This is an example out of context to start with. So we've got the question, describe the town of Kirriemuir, which is worth 4 marks. Now, what we've got here. Firstly, Kirriemuir has a high school called Webster's High School. There's 1 mark for a simple point. Secondly, it is located very close to Forfar. There's 1 mark for a simple point. Thirdly, it is the birthplace of the creator of Peter Pan. There's 1 mark for a simple point. Fourthly, the population is around 7,000 people. There's 1 mark for a simple point. So that there would be 4 marks for 4 simple points. Or, as mentioned, you can do developed points. So we've got, firstly, Kirriemuir has a high school called Webster's High School, full stop. So there's your 1 mark for your simple point. Now we're developing this. This high school caters for around 600 pupils in Kirriemuir and the surrounding area. So there's a mark for developing your point further. Secondly, is the birthplace of the creator of Peter Pan. There's 1 mark for a simple point. And then we're developing this. J.M. Barrie was born in Kirriemuir, and there's a statue of Peter Pan in the centre of the town. Now let's look at an example from a history exam. So this is from the Scottish topic, era of the Great War. So the question is, describe the militant tactics used by the suffragettes. And remember, the suffragettes were one of the groups which campaigned for women to gain the vote. So here we have slash painting, smash windows, attack MPs, pour acid on golf greens. Now they're all correct points. However, you'll see this is just a list. So this would not gain any marks. You cannot list or bullet point. So we're looking for 4 proper sentences. So starting off, firstly, the suffragettes would smash shop windows with stones. There's 1 mark for a simple point. Secondly, they would cut telephone wires to disrupt communication. There's 1 mark for a simple point. Thirdly, the suffragettes would go on hunger strike in prison. There's 1 mark for a simple point. Fourthly, they would attack high profile MPs. There's 1 mark for a simple point. So that would be 4 marks there. And again, you have the option of developing your point. So firstly, the suffragettes would smash shop windows with stones. 1 mark for a simple point. They would usually shout votes for women when throwing the stones to gain more attention. There's 1 mark for a developed point. Secondly, they would attack high profile MPs. 1 mark for a simple point. For example, Winston Churchill was attacked with a whip by the suffragettes. There's 1 mark for a developed point. So you've developed your point a bit further there. Here's another example, and this is from the British unit, and this is looking at the Atlantic slave trade. So the question is, describe the living and working conditions of slaves on the plantations, which is worth 4 marks. Now, again, Here is some points you could have: long hours, poor food, everyone worked, poor housing. Again, that is just a simple list though. Although that is correct, it's a simple list and it gains no marks. So again, what we are looking for is full sentences. So firstly, the slaves would be made to work long hours. There's 1 mark for a simple point. Secondly, the slaves would be constantly watched by an overseer to make sure they were working hard. There's 1 mark for a simple point. Thirdly, all slaves were expected to work regardless of their age. There's 1 mark for a simple point. Fourthly, families could be split up on plantations when they were bought and sold on. There's 1 mark for a simple point as well. Or you have some developed points here. So firstly, the slaves would be made to work long hours. 1 mark, simple point. During harvest time, when the plantation was busy, this could be 12 hours or more a day. There's 1 mark for a developed point. Secondly, all slaves were expected to work regardless of their age. 1 mark, simple point. Even very young children would be expected to work in the field and pick up crops. There's 1 mark for a developed point. So that is some examples that we went over there. Now a template for your jotter. Ultimately, again, if you don't have a hard copy of this, you can just write this down. It's just 4 simple points for the described question in 4 sentences. So firstly, secondly, thirdly, fourthly. Don't bullet point. Okay, now back to Mickey to see if we met our aims for this presentation. So firstly, know how to answer the described questions. So from what we've just went through, you should know how to answer that using firstly, secondly, thirdly, fourthly. Obviously, if you want to develop your points, firstly, make a point, develop it. Secondly, make a point, develop it. Our second aim is to went over a number of examples as a class. We went over an example for Kirriemuir. We went over an example for our World War I topic. And we went over an example for the Atlantic slave trade topic. And the last aim was to have glued a template into our jotters. And again, if you've not got a hard copy of this, you can write that down in your jotter.